So calling the meeting to order for our ARPA committee, as we discussed at our meeting earlier this week. The purpose of this, which hopefully will be pretty short, is to take a look at the final list of ideas that we've come up with and to have a formal vote. And the vote would be to take the ideas that we have developed along with the rough kind of financial estimates, and that would be presented to the Board of Selectmen by me and whomever else would like to join in that discussion at their next meeting for their reaction and hopefully approval. So that's the purpose. Before we get into that, Kevin helpfully sent a note correcting or updating the POD cost estimate. So as a reminder, these are the expenditures about pre-buying, replenishing supplies, what have you, should there be a health crisis in the future. The idea being that we'd have that stuff pre-acquired and on hand rather than trying to get it last minute when supplies are likely to be constrained. So in any case, the amount we had before for that was 150,000. It's been updated to 170,000. I don't know, Kevin, you're on the call if you wanted to add any color to that.
Yeah, I met with our health preparedness consultant, Nick, and with David Knauf this week. We went through line by line items in the pod in the box requisition kits, and based on some experience we've had with the clinics we've had, and some of the experience that both Nick and I have had of doing similar programs both in New York City and for Nick for the state of Virginia, we added a couple of things which we think would be needed for a kind of an all hazards pre-buy for a point of dispensing, vaccine clinic, PPE distribution center, those type of things.
All right, any questions for Kevin on that? All right, good. So except for that one change, then the list that I sent around yesterday, I think still stands. So with that change, we come up to a grand total of ideas of $6,308,885. And given the grant amount, which is $6,430,414, that leaves us with a contingency of just over $121,000. So if any of these projects are over the amount, that would be our contingency. That's a small contingency, there's no doubt about that. But at the same time, I think it's kind of okay because a lot of these things would be things we'd want to fund in any case. The ARPA money is just coming in and helping ease that burden on the taxpayer, so we will take full advantage of that. So I'm actually okay with leaving the contingency as it is. We'll see what the other boards decide. They may decide they want a larger contingency, in which case they could cut some of these projects. But in any case, what I would do, particularly with the Board of Finance, if it gets to that, is emphasize that we definitely want to keep the Board of Selectmen approved items, and that would constitute a cut to the budget put in place by the Board of Finance of $576,885, and that's the note that we have at the bottom of that spreadsheet. So that's where we are. Comments, additions, corrections, complaints, you can offer those after the call when I'm not on. What do you got? Anything to add to our list, or that you would like to consider before we call a vote?
Well, on the list that you sent around, just to help me out, it has this $6,812,000 number, and it has the pear tree boat ramp as a kind of an issue for discussion.
No, I said I sent a new one out.
Oh,
right. So if you, in the new one that I sent out, this is in the spreadsheet, it's line 59. So what we have is pear tree, it says pear tree new boat ramp. That was in our previous list of 235,000. So if you look down in the second column that Kate and Jen did, they did a kind of an updated column, and you can see we took that one to zero, as well as a few others that were below the $50,000 threshold. So we took the pear tree ramp off the list. You see that, Frank?
I don't. I'm sorry. I must have printed the wrong thing.
Not to worry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-forward our list to you so that you've got it handy. Just give me 2 seconds here.
You know the one I just was looking it up. I think you may have sent around the wrong one, John.
Well,
No,
I hope not.
no, mine's 0 after the boat ramp.
All right. What email address do you want, Frank? The Gmail, or do you open the?
The Gmail is easier for me to open on my phone. So,
All right, so I will send that. Hold on one second. Our viewers are particularly excited by my real-time futzing around with IT.
I can put it up on the screen if you like.
That's not a bad idea. Frank, I just sent it to you, so
okay, great.
take a look. Martha,
I just had one comment. I don't know how the list will appear on the website, but some of these early ideas, which we have now taken off, I would suggest that they not appear on the website, that we just show the projects that we're,
so that's
testing.
a great point. I think that's exactly right. What we'll do is the sheet we send out, we are going to be voting on that revised column, and the sheet that gets the PDF of that sheet that gets published will be just that column. We'll take out the originally suggested. A great suggestion, Martha. Thank you.
And also just for the public, maybe say specifically that we're expecting 6.43 million in ARPA funds, in case they don't know that
Yeah,
specifically.
that's at the bottom. That's at the bottom, and there's also up in blue at the top of the sheet what the ARPA allocation is. But maybe
But
a cover note or something like that. We
Yeah.
can do that.
All right.
Okay. Other comments or questions?
Frank, were you able to get to see that, or do you?
Yes. No, I
Okay.
got it. Thank you, Kate.
Yeah, okay, great. Okay, motion to approve the recommended ARPA ideas for presentation at the Board of Selectmen in the amount of $6,430,414, which is the amount of the ARPA allocation to Darien, with a contingency of $121,529, leaving a subtotal of actual ideas of $6,308,885. Can I get a motion to approve that?
Move to approve.
Francis?
Yeah.
Second. Martha? Okay, all in favor? Okay, I think we are unanimous among the gathered. Kate, do we need to do anything else on this?
I don't believe so.
Okay. And can
Jen,
we
do you
put-
have anything else you want done?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Can I ask a
Monica,
Question,
go. Yes.
what happens to the interest that's earned in the account? How do we activate that?
So that's a good question. There is going to be imprecision in terms of how much is spent versus how much is allocated to us versus the interest that's going to be earned on the money that's sitting there. It'll be de minimis in any case, as Joan has reminded us many times about her cash in the treasury. I think that one of the kind of policy ideas that we adopted a meeting or two ago was that if there are surplus funds in this account, which could be part of the grant or it could be part of the interest earned on the grant, that we'd invite the town administrator to propose a disposition of those funds to the Board of Selectmen as a matter of process. So if we do have extra money in there, either because we didn't spend all of the grant, or to your point, we have extra interest earnings, then Kate with her colleagues would prepare a recommendation and bring it to the Board of Selectmen.
John, can I just chime in on that?
Sure.
We have had about $3 million sitting in the bank for 8 months or so. So we have earned a little bit of interest on there. It's negligible. But the ARPA regulations, the final rule allows the interest doesn't have to be spent on ARPA projects. So what we have done is we've moved through this fiscal year is that interest has been credited to the general fund.
Oh, okay. Problem solved.
Thank you.
Other questions? Outstanding. Okay, well, I appreciate everyone's help and effort on this. I think we've gotten to a very good spot. These are worthy project ideas. I look forward to getting them posted on the town website. Kate and Jen, I'll work with you guys to come up with a final PDF that we'll post, and maybe some kind of cover note or paragraph introducing it would be helpful to any members of the public who would like to take a look at it and react to it. I also want to make sure that my contact information is on there so that if they have questions or want to get in touch, to discuss the ideas, I'm absolutely willing to do that. And it
So
looks like-
John,
Sure.
regarding that, we have a generic Board of Selectmen email address. I would suggest that that would be a good
Totally
one
up
to
to you.
use.
Completely fine. So we could do that. And then if we could get this on the Board of Selectmen agenda for, I guess, the 28th, I can present that then, and we'll make sure everybody on the committee is aware of it if they would like to join in and assist me in that happy task. Okay. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
Just want to say thank you to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
committee for doing this work in such a expedient way also. Thank you.
My thanks as well. It's great working with folks on this, and we'll have another committee on something soon, and you can be a volunteer victim again in short order. So we appreciate it. All right, then we will just move along. So I want to get a motion to adjourn, and we'll hang this up for the next time. One thing I would like to do, by the way, is probably reconvene this group after the Board of Selectmen's approved it, particularly if there are any changes, just in case there's something for us to react to, but we'll hold that in a future meeting in advance now, pending the outcome of the Board of Selectmen discussion. So, okay, motion to adjourn. Martha, second. Francis, all in favor? Great, we stand adjourned. Thanks, friends.